Welcome to the Advancement Centre, and once again, welcome to the world of magic and miracles. As we move into this day, there's a different feeling once again. One of security and a friendly flight. But now, we're about to go a little bit further and let you feel a different feeling altogether. It's not insecurity, it's independence in a way that holds you solid without needing security. As the energies meet the minimum standard, you will start to feel the world around you become more solid. And as the world around you becomes more solid, you need less security. What you've been doing over the past weeks is weaving a beautiful path of endless weave. As you follow your spirit and experience the elevated platform of living, you now know that within your bubble there is total support. And as we allow those energies to vibrate a little more, you'll feel a new feeling that hasn't been described before. It's one that enables so many things to happen without any effort at all. We talk about the future, but when you're sitting there, you're in it. We're now working with the abilities that we've brought to Earth. We've all seen that we can float around in our own little world. And the reality is, that's even true in science. As we've demonstrated, you can create a dimension easily. But now, you have more than a dimension. You have your own home. The facilities that you've provided yourself are way beyond what you could imagine. In an instant, you can change the wind. In an instant, you can change the temperature. In an instant, you can become silent, even in the middle of massive noise. This is the home you brought with you. This is the world beyond worlds, where you don't have to convert anything into specific energies. It won't be long before you can light up whatever you want, because you don't need a light bulb to light something up. You say to yourself, I think I'm seeing with my eyes shut. You light it up. You close your eyes and all of a sudden it gets brighter. You're lighting it up in a small little essence. But now you have your own home, which is totally around you, and it encapsulates you at whatever size or shape you wish. If you want to make a difference in your world, in the world around you, you make sure that it's level. And it doesn't matter if it changes shape slightly, as long as it's a bubble, because that contains the totality of what you require to live in any place at any time, including space. Your ability to take food from the essence that surrounds you is growing every day. And you'll find while everything is active, you don't even think about eating. While you're sitting above everything, you don't think. And all of a sudden, if you focus on your body, you'll see that it's doing exactly what you need, whatever that is. Sitting still, making a noise, running around, walking uphill, it just does it. And your focus is on all the movement. All that movement where you chase your spirit and can't stop smiling because of the activity that you never even work out. The interaction with people now will change. Because based on the fact you have everything, you cannot interact in a horrible manner. It's impossible. The interaction in the world will be such that what is fed to you in pictures and in words won't mean anything. It'll only be your experience. And your experience can be perfect in the middle of turmoil. You can enjoy a stage show in a beautifully comfortable chair and watch the turmoil of the stage show. You can get involved in it and have a miserable time, or you can see the great acting and the beautiful music and enjoy the whole thing. We've gone way past that. We've gone to where you don't even have to think. Where expectation disappears and where you have to declare nothing. As we move a bit further, you'll start to tell me how things are turning up in your life. Physical things that you don't know where they came from. Let me tell you, we are already established in interaction with other planets throughout the galaxy. We already run a financial type of interaction with them. We already transpose and transform matter to keep the facilities on Earth running the way we want them. All this is already happening with many, many other civilizations. So just because you're not told about it doesn't matter. You don't need to be told. Because you have as much access as even the top people running the governments of the world. And many of you have greater access. And so, as we talk to one another, we give permission to open that access and start things appearing that belong to us. We have a wealth, and we know it. And it's not in dollars, and it's not in gold. It is a wealth of anything we could ever need. And it's available to us anytime in a fraction of a second. But with the great sense of responsibility that comes with each person, we've always been extremely careful to not show anybody something that will attract them into the wrong mode of life. But now, we're in our own worlds, we have our own home, we can bring in what we want. You can bring in nourishment just to test everything, because no one has a claim on nourishment. You can bring in energy just to test everything. No one has a claim on energy, even though they think they do. You can bring in food in any form you want. It will appear on your shelf. You're not stealing from anyone, and you're not causing turmoil. Because that food can appear in water if it wants. You can drink water and it'll be a banana, or a steak, or anything you want, if that's what you invite into your home, into that bubble that can support everything. So I've always said that we're working beyond technology, because we created technology from who we are. Not just one or two of us, we all created the technology that we use. There are some who put all the bits together, but we created it all in our image. And so everything is available directly to us. And in speaking about it, we can now allow our combined, it's more than energy, it's our combined existence, our combined presence, to be an active reality. And we spoke about that last week, about the dimension of reality. Well, now we've gone past that again. It is the reality of our own existence. And there is no limit. And eventually you will find that people will have things turning up that just change their whole life. And they don't have to be very big. They don't have to be in the form of cash, but they can be in the form of what cash produces, or what cash allows you to trade. I won't explain too much about the detail, because every one of you know your own capability, and it's endless. And right now, that feeling of excitement that you've got is really yours. And you have something to play with. You always did. It's much easier now because we've worked our way to where we belong. And that's above everything, even above what we can imagine. To advance further, you need a game. You need to play. You need excitement. You need to be able to be totally interactive in the world and beyond, to where nothing stops you. And nobody can say you can't do that. Just smile, and inside of you the big sign comes up, you watch. And it doesn't happen the way you think or anybody else thinks. It happens the way you are able to do it. And it's not a picture, and it's more than a knowing. It's a reality that happens because you move, because you go, oh, there it is. And as soon as you have a feeling of what can happen, it grows. And it interacts with everybody's energy. And that's because you had an upward inflection, an impulse, a story. All your expressions create endless, endless power and endless energy. And even those who are not looking will feel you when you go, huh? Because it's movement. It's movement of everything that makes matter, everything that makes communication, and everything that makes all the little bits that we learn about in science. So we are able to access the minutest part of anything and form it into whatever we decide. Now, we've always thought that we had to have a process to do that, because one person does it and they give you an idea. You can't do it unless you've got the blueprint. Incorrect. If one person does something, you can look at it and say, yeah, I can do that. And you sure enough can. You look at some of the biggest buildings in the world, you look at it and say, yeah, I could design that. I could fit that out. I could probably do a better job in that power station. And I'm sure I wouldn't put overhead lines up the way they do. The transmission of power between each one of us is instant. Why do we have to wait to build all this infrastructure before we use the massive power that we can switch on in a second? So now I've opened a new door where, if you wanted to, you could energize the window and have it light up. If you wanted to, you could have one colour on one side of the window and another colour on the other side. You could have music coming out of it, because it's all your creation. Now, I won't say that you'll just walk up and do it straight away, but someone will. Because somebody walked in with all that data, all that ability, and they'll just wake up one morning and do it. Then they'll try to get it so other people can have it. And they'll make things so that other people can have what they actually experience without having any tools at all. Many people who are classed as brilliant say, well, they either channeled something, or they got a picture, or something to bring the sense of reality. But in fact, they live it. They don't see it. They live it and know it. It's part of them, just like your world's part of you. Each time we get together, we explore a new part of everything. And we've just opened up a mecca of possibilities that each reality in each person can experiment with. And you don't need money. You need your wealth. It will appear in cash for some, and it will appear in goods for others, and it'll just appear in a big glow around others, where they don't have to worry about anything, and everybody's so happy to look after them, they don't have to do anything. If you try to categorize yourself, you'll lose it all, because there are no rules. And it appears different every second. If the focus comes on you for dollars, it's there. The focus comes on you for water, it's there. The focus comes on you just to show you glow, it's there. And it can happen 50 times in a second. Because it's your time, it's not the world's time. And everybody's time is different, particularly in their own world. In that bubble, where you can create anything, you don't need it to get outside the bubble. You don't need to prove it to anyone. But you are proving it to them every time you do it. because it transmits and everybody knows exactly. But it's not in the words of your nationality. It's in the hidden words of spirit that we all understand. I had no idea what I was going to talk about when I came out today, because there's so much heading our way that it's impossible to take anything in seriously. And there's a good reason for that. If you're making a masterpiece, a painting, a tapestry, anything like that, you start with an outline, roughly. Then as you build, it changes. As you put little bits in, it builds quality and it builds depth. And something that was really flat to start with starts to stand out and be real. And this is what you're doing for yourself. Every little part of the tapestry, at every angle you can think of, is starting to stitch itself into place and give us a bit of magic every day. We look at it and go, wow, it's this. And the next day we look at it and go, no, it's not. It's something else. Got no idea what it is. Next day, you say, oh, I got it. And then 5 minutes later, oh, don't know. It's the brilliance and the mystery of life, like chasing Tinkerbell. You never know which way Tinkerbell's going. You never know where the sparkles are going. But it always creates perfect magic. When we work in our home, we are more connected to everyone than if we're not in there. That's one of the mysteries of the universe. Because everything is included in your home. Even though it surrounds you. But it can also surround everybody, everything, every universe, and still be the same size. And the size is not measurable by here. It's comfortable to you, and it's unlimited to everything. Some of the things that will come towards you will frighten you on the outside of the bubble. Then they'll either hit it as a solid wall, or they'll go bloop and come through as something different. So be aware of the borderline that you hold every second. And keep moving it, and test it, expand it, contract it, make it solid, make it light. Put it over the top of them and press it. Move it. Be totally gentle with yourself and everyone else. And even the most horrible situations will transform. Not into what you see, but they'll just transform. And they may play out in front of you, but they'll still transform. Everything that comes into your home is elevated. And at times, you will allow those to come into that home just for the fraction that it takes to elevate. And then they'll be spat out way above where they were before. No one needs to touch your field, your personal field. They can walk through it, they can caress you, but they can't touch your personal field. We were convinced by one another that we had to. But in fact, it's like getting too close to a radio transmitter and trying to tune to a different radio station. Gets all overridden. you end up at the wrong station running in and out of your radio. We're much more refined than that. And nothing can get through our own personal power. And nor should it. Because it's your ability to stay connected to your source that keeps you alive. We were convinced that we could turn that down and allow people to break through. It's really important to maintain that special signature that's yours. That signature that allows you to be present in the world of your Creator. So as we let ourselves diminish in our own personal strength, we're actually allowing other people's signature to break through. And then we have no place. So be aware, your home is yours, your vibration is yours, your signature is yours, your light is yours, and it's all shared from another place, not from you. It's shared because of the interaction, the fields that your combined fields create. So you never chop a magnet in halves and hope it to be the same. It'll be two magnets of half the power. But the quality of the magnet stays the same. If you create a different magnet with different field strengths, and you put the two together, after a while, they'll combine. They'll make a whole different structure. And they'll eventually be the same. If you maintain the slightest gap, it doesn't happen. You can put a tiny piece of paper between, and it doesn't happen. Because it allows those small interactions to produce different fields that interact with everything around it and make minute changes in the structure of the world. We are able to hold more than magnetic field. We hold many, many different fields. And they're even discovering now that in the plasma world, we are the experts. We are actually built to work on plasma. And they're discovering how this works. But we're beyond that again. We don't care how we work. Whatever we want to happen will happen. Through whatever means we decide. And it's not a decision based on knowledge. It's a decision based on our innate abilities to work with the universal energies and with particle matter and with attraction and dimensions. Put all that together, then go to multiple dimensions and mix them all together and put them back here as you. And the simplicity is they're always talking about how you're made up. So if each person can see that they're the sum total of all those things, you need a very high level language to contact it all at one go, even if you want to move your body. And that high level language is the language of spirit. Simplicity at its best. And you don't give a great list of instructions to move your left foot. You just move your left foot. You don't give a great lot of instructions to create something out of nowhere. You just do it. When you can see correlation between that, the high level language of dealing with what we call impossible will kick in and nothing will be impossible. So I think we're about to have a break and we'll be back with more interesting stuff in a few minutes. Thank you. Okay.
Your ease of transition, your ease of movement, of transition is it's just
Very good.
just totally relaxed. Yeah. Except when I switched it to the intermission picture for a second. I haven't done this in a little while. And it's I want to stay in that place where I just go when I'm connected to you. It's like, oh, and then I get like thrown off. No focus on me. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. This is today. I wanted to breathe. It's raining.
Yeah. That's right. That's really good.
Yeah, I needed for intermission.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't need it. this was muted, and Victoria said it's not muted, so I just muted. I thought everything was muted.
On that one, too.
Still not muted?
Welcome back. Sorry if we didn't mute everything properly there, but we're doing this by ourselves today. Victoria's not here, so we're operating remotely through texts and all sorts of things to make sure it all works. So if we get any errors, well, we'll fix them in the final yeah, I can't think of the name of it. Recording. So now what we were looking at was how we handle the perfection of our own being. And the first thing to understand is that you will never get to the point where you can understand any of it. It's like saying, I understand how I walk. You do not. You have a good idea, but you just simply walk. There are separate control systems in everything in every part of us. And as we study for the rest of our lives, we'll never get to the end of it. There are many who profess to know all about the body, then all of a sudden they don't. They know how the chemistry works, then all of a sudden there are side effects. The human body is a very, very small part of who we are. Very small part. And it will operate perfectly in your world, in your bubble, with your nourishment, and with your signature. Only time we have difficulty is when that signature is broken into. By society or an event or an accident or whatever, where we're convinced to hand it over to someone else. So now we've established how totally independent we are of one another. We can now look at how totally dependent on everybody's presence that we are. In the world of magic and miracles, you can't have magic by yourself. Because who are you going to play tricks on? Who are you going to lay sparkles on? Who are you going to excite? Who are you going to run away from and who are you going to attack? It's all there. It's in the interaction where the magic lies. It's in the interaction where the energy is generated. And it's in the dance where the music produces the elegance of our being. So I can give you lots of drawings, maps of how things work, but we'll never ever get to where we are already. Because we simply use simplicity and enjoy the magic and don't care how. Who cares if you know? Who cares if you forget? We are able to forget much easier than we're able to remember. So why not forget? What's it going to do to you? It's going to leave more room for everything you haven't seen yet. For everything that's new, and for everything that's a total, exciting, vibrant part of your life. So you hear people walking around saying, oh, forget it. Take notice. That is the greatest saying of all time. And you look at the number of people as they get along in life who actually have fear about forgetting, and that causes disease because they hand themselves over to somebody who says, I can fix it. You're supposed to forget so you can have more capacity. The older you get, the more capacity you have for the excitement of the future. The more capacity you have to encompass family, friends, and other possibilities. Let's now go a bit further and see what happens if we forget about it all. Even anything I've told you, forget about it. Totally forget about it. And more, forget a bit more. So what's happening? You're trying to remember. What is it that I've got to forget? So that's the endless circle that we are now surpassing. You forget everything as it comes. Anything you can't forget, you don't have to fix. When it comes up, you say, oh, that's gone. don't have to fix it. It's in the past. Everything that you experience it to the maximum, and then you let it go. Just like a spoon of ice cream. You eat it, you enjoy it, you let it go. And you say, oh, that was great. You don't keep eating and saying, I want it to be great all the time. Each event has to pass just like a spoon of ice cream. And so now you have the key to the greatest elevated life you'll ever know. Spoon of ice cream and Tinkerbell sparkles. And you've got it. That's the simplicity of life. If that's all you have to do, you have plenty of time to play, to experiment, to do things, to go and play in the world, and to actually adventure in the play world, because you don't have to get it right. You just let it pass and go, whoa, that was big. Or, oh, that was great. And life goes on. As we get together more, you'll start to feel the level that won't let you down. And you can feel the edge of that. And it won't let you down, no matter what you do. And as you move forward, you don't even bother about whether you are moving forward or not. Because without motion, you'll feel uncomfortable. So you just make sure you feel comfortable. Have another spoon of ice cream. It doesn't matter. Everything is self-regulating. Everything is perfect. The thing that you never miss is the next moment. But you'll miss it if you hang on to the last one. It's like holding an important word that someone says. You don't even know what they've said, except for the important word. You have to flow with everything, just as you flow with words. Flow with everyday life. You flow with the movement of your body. But you don't focus on your body. If it doesn't do what it's told, you tell them you get another one. It's easy. Life is not as it seems. It's better. Everything you figure out, look at yourself in the mirror and say, well, what was the use of that? What am I going to do with it? Maybe I'll figure something out so that I can fix something once, but it's never going to be the same again. So don't figure it out, just do it. And forget it. All the circumstances that come to each one of you have their own message, their own signal, their own way of fitting together. So the only one who can put those things together is you yourself. And there's no way to figure it out, you just do it. There's no way to figure out where you put your foot, you just do it. You don't even look. And you can walk on stony ground and not get one stick in you until you get caught occasionally. But all this comes back to the fact that we do have that personal supercomputer that runs, and it doesn't run like your own computer. It doesn't need rebooting, it doesn't need repairing, because it is made from all the stuff of the universe that we've never discovered yet. It's made from the interaction and the movement of particles that have no volume. And it's stored by movement. And it's stored by the action and interaction of each one of you. So a slight inflection shifts the field and the interaction of each one of us. And so when you go, I don't know, that goes through everyone. You wave your hand with intention, and the calmness enters everybody's body because it appears on the outside. And you can decide to accelerate and up the whole sense of everything, and it happens. So if you can do that, and it happens right throughout the world, in that instant, how powerful are you? And how simple is it? All you have to see is that extended, and you have it all. So as we talk and interact, we'll take you to those places. And in the meantime, play around and recharge your phone. Attempt to do the impossible. Put stuff away and forget about it. Watch it appear somewhere else. It'll appear where you need it. All this can happen. And it does happen to some people. So the elegance of a future of simplicity and excitement and sparkles is there for all of us. I write a lot. I have a lot of information. I have a lot of technical background, and I have a lot of non-technical background. The greatest thing in my life is to sit and write the messages that come from other places, to speak with Simeon's voice, to allow the interaction of everything that's beyond what we can see now. Each one of those things I can prove beyond a doubt. And each one of you can do similar things and prove to yourself beyond a doubt. If you prove to yourself, you'll see that everybody knows. If you doubt yourself, everybody will doubt. So you don't have to do anything about that. Just remember, you throw it away. Just remember, if it ever comes up again and you feel a little bit of doubt, go, whoa, if I smile, the whole world changes. If I doubt, the whole world also changes. So you go, oh, wipe that, you rub the board clear, and just open your hands like that, and you'll feel the energy start again. And you've put yourself back in the world. You've signed in again with your signature. So remember your signature. It's a very important thing. You can't go to the bank and draw out money from anybody's account. You can draw out money from your account if you've got the signature. If you don't have the signature, they don't care. You don't exist. If you don't have the number, you don't exist. So all those things are important even in this world. You imagine what it's like, billions calling on the universe and saying, what about me? They go, yeah, what about you? Nothing happens. But you maintain your signature and you just open it up. Everyone will feel it. And everything will come to you that belongs to you. And it's that simple. But you cannot drop below the level where the signature can be read. That's that elevated platform of living. If you drop below that, your signature can't be read. And so you're just part of the noise. It's not a matter of raising up, it's a matter of opening yourself and saying, if I do this, I'm not just doing this, I'm doing it. And everyone feels it. It's the entry into the world of your Creator. And you physically move your energy into that world and you take up your position. And it's not a little spot, it's all of it. So the next time we get together, I'll talk about your expectations and where all this is going. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions that'll interact through that channel that is our perfect communicator. So we'll test all that out, and I'll just talk about everything that comes to me so that you'll understand that we are communicating, no matter where you are. So for now, we'll leave you with that, and I'll make sure that the physical, three-dimensional part of that magic world is maintained by saying perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. Thank you.